Alright, Assalamualaikum and a very good day I bid to everyone. So, first of all, I am pretty sure that all of you already go through all the videos that already made by my teammates, which are the videos that covers the topic on all the aspect of mathematical reasoning. So right now for this video, I'm Daniel Hakim Zaidi are going to go through the mathematical reasoning revisions. So for this video, we will go through several questions about mathematical reasoning, and we're going to uh, I hope that you guys can also answer the questions same time as me. And after that, when I show you guys the answer and the solution, we can compare together to see either your guys' answers are correct or not. All right. So the first one, the question one is about statements. Okay, so for this question, we got five sub questions, and the general questions are determine whether the following sentences are statements or not. Give a reason for your answer. Right, for the first sub question is A, 3 plus 3 equals to 8. Okay, so for the next one, for B, a pentagon has 5 sides, and C is 40 divisible by 3. D. Find the perimeter of a square with each side of 4 cm. And last but not least, E, which is the word help. Alright, so if you guys still didn't have the answer for all of this question, you guys are allowed to pause the video for a while and try to get the answer first. So after this, when I show you guys all the answers, we can compare the answers to see either you guys answer it correctly or not. Okay, so for the next one is the same question, but for this slide, I have all the answers. So we'll go through it one by one. Okay, for the question A, 3 plus 3 equals to 8. So by right, first of all, we need to determine either this sentence or equation are a statements or not. So 3 plus 3 equals to 8. So at this point equals to 8, we can call it the truth statement. So by that, when an equation or a sentences has a truth statement, automatically it will become a statement. So the answer for this question is statement. But keep in mind that we need to see either this statement it is a true statement or not. So 3 plus 3 equals to 8. So right here we can see that these equations are wrong because supposedly 3 plus 3 equals to 6. So automatically this one, it is a false statement. So for question A, the full answer is statement. It is a false statement. Alright, for question B is a pentagon has 5 sides. Okay, so like the previous one, in order for us to determine it is a statement or not, we need to see either this sentence has its own truth statement or not. So by that, the 5 sides is the truth statement of this question. So it will become a statement. So next, we're going to determine either it is true statement or not. So pentagon has 5 sides. So if we go through the polygons, yes, pentagon has 5 sides. So by right, this statement it is a true statement. Okay. So the next one is question C. Is 40 divisible by 3? Question mark. Okay. So for this one, in order for us to check it is a statement or not, like the previous one, we need to see either this sentence has its own truth statement. But as we can see, this sentence doesn't have the truth statements, and we can see that at the end of this sentence got a question mark. So directly this question, it is not a statement because it doesn't have any truth statement, and it is a question because of this question mark. Okay, so I hope you guys can get this one. All right, so for the next one, for question D, find the perimeter of a square with each side of 4 cm. So for this one, first of all, like we do for this initial truth question, we need to find the truth statement of this one. But as we can see, we cannot find the truth statement. There is no truth statement in this, so it is not a statement. So in order for us to determine what type of sentence is, the clue is at the initial of the sentence is the word find. So the word find indicates that this sentence is an instruction. So by right, the answer should be it is not a statement, it is an instruction. Okay. So last but not least is the word help. So the word help itself, it doesn't show any truth statement at all, but it is not a statement. But how for us to determine what type of statement it, what type of sentence it is, the clue is the exclamation mark. So by right, this sentence indicate an exclamation. So these are all the answers of this 5 sub question. I hope you guys can get the answer. If not, you guys can check back these questions. All right. So for the second question is question 2. We're going to cover about quantifiers, all and some. Okay. So for this one, we have 4 sub questions, which is the general question is complete each of the following statements using the quantifiers all or some to make the statements true. Okay, so for the all the statements, I'm going to read it one by one. In the meantime, also you guys can try to find the answer so that you have the answer before I proceed to the next slides. Okay, for question 8, blank space, polygons have the same number of vertices and sides. B, blank space, multiples of 9 are even numbers. C, blank space, of the whole numbers are divisible by 7. And last but not least, D, blank space, factors of 4 are factors of 20. So before I proceed to the next slide, please make sure you guys have all the answers for this first question. If not, you guys can pause the video for a while. Okay, so for the answer, I'm going to go through it one by one. Okay, for the first one is blank space polygons have the same number of vertices and sides. So if we recall all the polygons, like we have pentagon. Pentagon consists of 5 sides and also 5 vertices. So there is one for pentagon. The next one is for hexagon. Hexagon have 6 sides and 6 vertices, and it will goes on. So if we go one by one, we can see that all of these polygons have the same number of vertices and sides. So for these statements, by that, it will become the quantifiers that we're going to use is all to indicate that all of the polygons are the same numbers of vertices and sides. Okay, so for the next one, question B. A blank space multiples of 9 are even numbers. Okay, so what are the multiples of 9? So multiples of 9, we can see that it is 9, 18, 27, 36, and 45. So for the statements are either the multiples of 9 are even numbers. So if we go through one by one, 9 is not an even numbers. 18, yes, it is an even numbers. 27, it is not an even numbers. 36, it is an even numbers. As you guys can see, the four numbers that we go through just now, some of them are even numbers and some of them are not. So by the correct the correct quantifiers that we're going to use here are some only, because not all of them are even numbers. Right. For the next one is C. C blank space of the whole numbers are divisible by 7. Okay. So this one, the whole numbers basically are the numbers from 1 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and it goes on. So by that, so the numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, even up until 6, we can divide it by 7, and we can divide by 7. 7 can be divided by 7 and goes on, and 14 can be divided by 7, but not all of the whole numbers can be divided by 7. So the correct quantifier that we're going to use here are some. Okay, so for the next one, question D, blank space factors are factors of 4 or factors of 20. Okay, so we need to go through the factors of 4 first. So the factors of 4 is 1, 2, and also 4. Okay. Meanwhile, the factors of 20, one of the earliest factors of 20 is also 1, 2, and also 4. So by it already shows that all of the factor of 4 are the factors of 20. So for this one, the quantifiers we can use all, because all of the factors of 4 are factors of 20, and this will make these statements true. Alright, so after this, we can, I hope you guys can get the answer. And the next, we're going to proceed to the third question, which is, but for the third question, we got 3A and also 3B. So on 3A, operations on statements. Okay, so for this question, we only have two sub questions. So we'll go through the question first. So the question is, determine whether each of the following statements is true or false. All right. So these questions are: first one, A, 3 multiplied by -4 equals to -12, and 13 plus 6 equals to 19. Meanwhile, for the question B is 100 times 0.7 equals to 70, and 12 plus -30 equals to 8. So for this one, the things that will be different from 3B is you guys have to take note about the n. For this question 3A, the words that we're going to use here is n. Meanwhile 3B is or. So before we proceed to the answer, so I need you guys to have the answer first. If you guys didn't have yet, so please go through the question and you guys can pause the video for a while. Okay, so for the solutions for this question. Okay, so as you guys can see, I will go through one by one first. Okay, for question A is 3 times -4 equals to -12, and 13 plus 6 equals to 19. Okay, so for this one is 3 multiplied by -4 equals to -12. It is true. And also 13 plus 6 equals to 19. It is true also. You guys can check with the calculator if you want. Okay, so since both of these statements are true, therefore the statements 3 multiplied by -4 equals to -12, and 13 plus 6 equals to 19 is true, because both of the statements is true. Okay, so for the next one, for question B is 100 times 0.7 equals to 70. This one, if we calculate it, it is true. The next one is 12 plus -30 equals to 18. This one should be false. All right, this is not the wrong answer. The answer is not 18. So therefore the statements, so based from these two statements, one of it is true and one of it is false. So therefore the statements of both of the statement is false. For this question, as I stated just now, the words that we're going to use is and. So it is very important for you guys to remember when the words that used in the statements are and, so you guys have to make sure both of the statements to be true in order for make the overall statements true. Like for this question B, if one of it become false, like this one, so by that automatically this statement will be false. All right, so I hope you guys get the idea of the operational statements for the words that we are going to use and. All right, so for the next one, the difference is the same questions, operational statements, but for this one, we're going to questions that use the word or. All right, so first we're going to go through the question first. Later at the solution part, I will explain to you guys about the answer. Okay, so for the question, determine whether each of the following statements is true or false. So for the question A, 60 is divisible by 4 or 9. Okay, for question B is 5 to the power of 3 equals to 25, or 4 to the power of 3 equals to 64. Okay, so for the example, so for the solutions, so the first one A, 60 is divisible by 4. So this one should be true. Okay, So the next one is 60 is not divisible by 9. It is false. So as you can see from both of the statement, we got one of the statement is true and one of the statement is false. But overall, therefore, this both statement is a true statement. Like previous questions, when the words that we use is or is and, it have to be both of the statements true in order for the overall statement to be true. But for or, we only need one of it to be true in order for us to make it a true statement. The only condition for the statement, overall statement, to become a false statement is both of the statements must be a false statement. Okay, for the next one, for question B, 5 to the power of 3 is 25. And this one, the answer is wrong, is false, because the answer should be 125. And the next one is 4 to the power of 3 is 64. So for this equation, it is true. So therefore, both of the statement is a true statement. Like what I said just now, for all conditions, we only need one of it to be true in order for us to make the overall statement a true statement. So for operation on statement, I hope you guys get the idea that it depends on the words that we're going to use. Like I stated just now, if we use the words and, both of the statements need to be true in order for the overall statement to be true. If one of it a false statement, so the overall will be a false statement. It is very important for us to remember that. And must be both of it true. And one for or, doesn't have to be both of the statements to be true in order for this question to be true. But the only condition for the overall statements to be false is both of the statements is a false statement. Okay, so for the next one is question 4, implications. Okay, so for this question we have two sub questions. So I will go through the question first. So the question is given that P is x plus 1 equals to 8 and while q is x equals to 7. So the question is construct a mathematical statement in a form of implications. So for question A is if P then Q, and for question B, P if and only if Q. So for implications, here are your answer. So I hope you guys already have the answer before we continue to this one. All right, so right now I will go through the questions one by one, and for implication, it's quite easy, I would say, because the only thing that we need to do is to substitute the unknown based on the questions given. So if like we go through A, if P then Q, so we need to substitute both of the equation P and also Q. So if you guys can see P x plus 1 equals to 8 and x equals to 7. So the answer should be if x plus 1 equals to 8, then x equals to 7. Right, so here are the statements that we can create using this form of implication. Okay, so the next one, B is x plus 1 equals to 8 if and only if x equals to 7. This, we can get this if based on the statements, and we take the statements in the question and substitute it in the sub questions. So these are the mathematical statements that we can get in the form of implications. So last but not least, for question 5 are deduction and induction. Okay, so the question for this one is we only have one sub questions, which is identify the premises and conclusion of the following argument. So the first one, a pentagon has 5 sides. ABCDE is a pentagon, therefore ABCDE has 5 sides. For these questions, we need to identify which one is premises and which one is the conclusion. Okay, so right now we can see the solution. So for this one, as we can see, we got 3 sentences here. So right now we must determine which one is premises and which one is conclusion. So usually the premise will be in a form of more in a form of statements. Like this one, as we can see from this three sentences. For the previous one, we got the first sentence, which is a pentagon has five sides. And the next premises is A, B, C, D, E is pentagon. So when premise 1 and premise 2, if we can relate to it, the next one should be a conclusion. So if we relate between these two premises, we can conclude that A, B, C, D, E has five sides. Alright, since this one states about pentagon and this one pentagon, so we can conclude this one. A, B, C, D, E has five sides. Right? So I hope you guys can get the idea of this question. So I think by the end of question 5, that's the last questions that we're going to go through together for revision for mathematical reasoning. So I hope you guys can get the idea, can answer this question very well. So I think that is all from me. Thank you. And you guys can check the description down below to fill in the questionnaire that we have provided to you guys. And after when you guys fill in the questionnaire, we will provide you guys with the e-certificate. I hope you guys enjoy this session. Thank you.